Hey guys, and welcome back to another Unfiltered Gamer board game review. And in today's review, we're going to be covering the game My Life Be Like by Mizo Games. This is a 3 to 5 player board game that takes roughly 30 minutes to play for ages 13 and up. And in the game, you're playing as one of the symbols of the Chinese zodiac. Scorpio, Virgo, Aries, Capricorn, Libra, etc., etc. Choose one of these symbols and then complete goals throughout the game. Utilize your deck of cards, playing them down, overextending yourself, and utilizing extra energy to score yourself goal points. All the while, scoring victory points along the way across this game board, fighting to compete against the other players and, of course, Mr. Moneybags, the old money, the one who starts with money at the beginning of the game and progresses through life quite easily. And your objective is not necessarily to beat him, but to beat the rest of the players. And the game will end when he reaches the end, or somebody reaches the end, as well as if the deck of goal cards runs out, etc., etc. As you utilize cards, you're going to get negative energy cards added to your deck, and whenever you overextend or basically empty out your entire deck, progressing as you play as many choice cards as you'd like to complete certain goals. When the game ends, you'll calculate your points based on your total, plus any bonuses you'll get from this player reference sheet here, and whoever has the most points from completing their goals and completing a certain number of goals will be the winner of the game My Life Be Like. Let's take a look at how to set the game up, how to play, and of course, my review. To set up the game, the first thing you do is you take out the main game board and place it within reach of all players. Take the old money token and of course add the standee and place it on the number 3 for the victory points track, as well as every player playing the game. And the reason why 3 and not 0 is because there's a saying that says that you have a 30% chance of luck in life and 70% chance of what you choose to do. Take all the goal cards and shuffle them, and based on the number of players, you'll deal out a number on the bottom of the board here. In this case here, we're playing with 4 players, so you'll flip over 3 of these cards, which would take you to the 4 plus space on this board here. This is going to then give you 3 different numbers. In this case here, we have an 8, a 4, and a 6, so old money is actually going to move 8 spaces, so that will go to 11. And then each other player will stay at 3. Each player is going to choose a symbol of the Chinese zodiac. I chose Capricorn. I'm going to choose the color blue, and that's what's also going to be my standee on the game board. I'll take any Capricorn tokens that might be included in the game. In this case, I have 2 of them. These are like action or ability markers here. And a player reference card, which explains how you score extra points at the end of the game. And each player will also do this. Take your deck of cards. These are your energy cards. You're going to get 10 of them, and each deck is exactly the same. Based on their colors, the one that you take, you'll shuffle them up, and then you're going to take 4 cards from that deck and place them aside. This will be the hand of cards that you start with in the game, and the rest will go face down on the pile space of your game board. Each character is not only going to have kind of an idea of what the symbol they have represents, but also what special action you can take on the game. My character's a workaholic. And also an additional scoring condition at the end of the game that you can utilize to score bonus points in addition to the end of game scoring points here on this card. Take any extra deck of cards set aside, any tokens like these goal tokens here, and place them shuffled face down. All your goal cards are going to be face down on the spot along with the 3 that start with it, and of course the negative energy tokens and these black markers here that you'll be utilizing as well. Once all of these are set up, everything else can be set aside and you're ready to begin the game. My Life Be Like is a simultaneous card placement game, which means that on your turn, and basically everybody's turn because we all take the same turn, you're going to select 1, 2, 3, or 4 cards from your hand. You start with 4 cards and you can play all 4 of these cards. You will then, after selecting them, you'll count down from 3, 2, 1, and place those cards face down on the table in front of you. And everyone else will do the same. Then you will reveal those cards, and you will calculate your points. There are 2-point values. The one that is highlighted in your color will be ignored. And you'll just simply calculate the white background one, which is going to have a 3 and a 4 for this instance, which will count for a total of 7 points. Each player does this, and then the player who has the higher value will get to choose one of these 3 life goals. That goal is then going to be taken and placed in front of that player, and the rest of them are going to be selected in order based on the high to low. If, for instance, there is a tie for any reason, you'll do a rock, paper, scissors battle, and that will determine who is next in line. If me and another player are set for first, we rock, paper, scissors, and if I win, I go first, and then they go second. The next player will take the third item or card, and if there are no cards left, that's it. Additionally, if you are the player who has the least value that you chose to play, you will take a pessimism token. These are tokens that will score you possibly negative points at the end of the game. Once each player has gotten a card, nothing, or last place getting a pessimism token, that will end the round. These cards will then go to your discard pile, and then each player will draw cards up until they reach their 4-card maximum and minimum to start the next round. And play will continue from there. These cards should get handed out, new cards will be placed out, and you will progress. Now, at the beginning of the game, you're actually going to have Mr. Moneybags move based on the highest amount of goal cards. So on the beginning, the first round, you kind of ignore him. He's already been moved. But on every round after that, you will then look at the cards here, choose the highest value card, in this case it's a 9, and move that guy that number of spaces. So he is always going to move the highest value possible on the goals here for the end of the game. And he's also what determines not only when the game ends, but how well you really did in the game. If you're able to complete old money or beat him out, then you're going to win. So he will move his spaces, so you'll reveal cards, move this guy's spaces, draw your cards, and then you will once again play. Place your cards out, 3, 2, 1, and then reveal, and then add your total up, and then of course you will take your goals, and you will then be done. Additionally too, whenever you take a goal card, like my first round, I took this 8 here, and I'm blue, I'll actually move 8 spaces. And in the next round, if I took this 2 here, then I would actually move 2 spaces. So every single time you get a goal card, you will be moving your characters on this game board here to solidify how far in the game you've gotten based on your goal scoring. These cards not only give you victory points, but they also give you icons. And at the end of the game, based on the number of icons that you have and in what relationship they work with each other, they'll score you bonus victory points. Some of them will also have a unique ability that will let you A, trash a card of the same type from another player, or steal another card from another player, or finally, if you get a number of a certain token, you'll take these goal card tokens that will count as an extra symbol for the end of the game. And rinse and repeat. Discard the cards that you chose to play. You never have to choose to play all of them, and then you will go ahead and draw new cards. If at any point your deck runs out for any reason and you need to draw, you'll have to take your discard pile, add a negative energy card to it, reshuffle, and then redraw up to 4 cards to make your hand get to 4. So basically your deck, as it kind of empties out and has to be refilled, you're going to get negative energy, meaning you've expended so much energy, now you're tired, and now you have to kind of add extra negative energy. You're never going to get bonus positive energy in the deck. So how can you change your results based on energy? Well, there is, as you notice on your game board at this point now, is an overextend location. When and after you place out your goals here, you move the old money token and draw your cards, you're then going to place out cards. And when you do so, instead of placing them over to the side here, what you can do is you can overextend yourself. And in order to do that, you'll have to use all of your cards. You'll take all of your cards, no matter what they are, and you will place them out, and you'll place them on top of the overextend space. And here you'll notice that you have 2 5s, a 3, and a 2. That's a total of 15 points. You can take the top card of your energy deck, whatever it might be, and instead of flipping it normally and using the white side, this is where the blue side comes in handy. So we'll go ahead and flip this card over here, and instead of this 2 here, it becomes now a 4. So instead of 15, now I have 19, which hopefully will beat other players for the goal that I want. And so that is one way in which you can gain a bonus in the game. Oh, and also to note too, whenever you do overextend yourself, you're gonna have to give yourself an extra negative energy card that will go into your discard pile. So that's basically all the actions that you can do in the game. Well, what are negative energy and how do they work? Negative energy do not count towards points, negative points at the end of the game or in your deck. What they do is they reduce your energy total of cards that you play on the given round that the cards enter your hand. Whenever you draw a negative energy card from your deck, the next round you must play this card. And it's going to be played on the white side here, and it'll count as -2 energy to whatever total it is that you're playing for. So if I were to play 2 5s, I'd have to play this -2 if it were in my hand, and instead of 10 points, I would get 8 points. Even worse still, if I overexerted myself, and instead of drawing this 2 that turned into a 4, I were to draw a negative energy, instead of being a -2, would flip to a -99, which basically means all the cards I just played, bad luck. I'm basically going to be at negative whatever points or 0. I'm not winning this round. So negative energy can come back to bite you. And as the game progresses, more negative energy will be placed into your deck when your deck empties, or if you overexert yourself multiple times, you're going to get more and more negative energy. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't necessarily overextend yourself when it matters. There are 2 other benefits to your character, and one is a special ability. It's either going to be a passive that works consistently throughout the game, or it's going to be an active ability that you can spend your tokens on. I've got my Capricorn tokens, and I have the ability of Workaholic, which means that twice in a game, I can, after each use of a token, remove 1 active ability marker from the game. And so I'm able to kind of steal people's ability markers and not allow them to utilize their abilities. Or I can also include my end of game scoring condition, which is going to be, I know I work too much, I'll work on it. At the end of the game, if I have less than 5 negative energy cards, I'll get 10 points. So I don't actually want to overexert myself or reshuffle my deck too many times to the point where I actually can't score bonus points. So all of these are worth positive points at the end of the game if you can accomplish their additional scoring conditions. And each character has their own unique active or passive benefits depending on the character that you choose. End of game scoring now. At the end of the game, you're going to score points for how many hearts, how many, it's like love, family, home, stars, and based on the number that you have is how many points you score. I have 5 hearts, I score 18 points. I have 3 homes, I score 8 points. Stars as well will score me a bunch of points. And then books, the player who has the most and second most will score 6 and 12 points. Then whoever has the most pessimism tokens will give you -5, will give them -5 points. So pessimism tokens, generally speaking, will score you negative points if you have the most. Sets of the heart, the family, and home will score you 4 points for each set that you have. So in addition to the singular ones that you get, you'll also score points for having sets of them. And so those can grant you additional bonus points in addition to your additional scoring conditions, in addition to the goal cards that you take that give you the points based on the number here. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game is the winner of the game My Life Be Like, and hopefully you're going to be that person if you manage to complete all your goals necessary to win the game. But that's how you play. Okay, so as you've probably noticed, each player and each sign basically will have its own unique effect for you as you play. And you're going to want to focus on that because 10 victory points can be the difference between winning and losing this game. There are a variety of characters to choose from, and as you can see here, each of them have their own unique abilities as well as end of the game scoring conditions. Libra has the active ability markers, and that they say that whenever you activate the ability, when another player uses their zodiac ability, you can cancel that ability. So you can stop, kind of counterspell players' abilities. Or Pisces is if there's at least 1 flipped heart goal on the table, you basically get +3 energy for that specific round. So heart goals in this goal area kind of helps this player out. If there's at least 1 flipped over family card, you'll get +3 energy as a Sagittarius. You can use the badge of pride for Leos. And to make so basically it says before the other players play their energy cards, play 1 of your energy cards in your hand. Immediately all other players who can't or choose not to play an energy card with the exact same value get -5 energy. I play a 5. Anybody want to also play a 5? No, you can't. You get -5. If you do, you must play it to stop yourself from losing the victory points. Some abilities will flip goal cards face down, let you look at them, but nobody else can see them, and then the baiting begins, and so on and so forth. There's quite a few different active abilities in this game that you can choose from. And how you play your character will make a difference. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to play with their abilities to their benefit as the card wants you to. You can focus on getting goal cards or focus on avoiding your extending to not get the negative points. It's really all up to you, and you technically can win in certain ways, but I think it best plays based on the specific sign that you choose. So choosing your sign does make a difference in the game. And also deciding whether you want to play as a passive or active ability. Passives particularly will give you bonus energy, and that's what they do, depending on what symbols are out on the game board. So it's kind of a luck thing, whereas the active ones give you the ability to do your thing, but only twice in a game, and once you do, you're kind of out. But they're very powerful, and every single ability is going to give you at least +3 bonus energy to help you on the given round when you play your active ability. Even some characters like extending, and in fact, if they have the most pessimism tokens at the end of the game, instead of losing 5 points, they will gain 10 points. So even in that case, it can change the way the game works. The game is all about your sign and how in life you have to spend energy to accomplish your goals, utilizing those goals to benefit you at the end of your life, and working against each other to see how well you've done based on your choices. And of course, old money, the guy who basically starts with like class stock, the one who has lots of money, his parents had lots of money, he's always going to be ahead in life and doing better than you guys, and getting to the end is very likely for him. But just because he reaches the end doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be the winner, because you'll have all the bonuses that you can gain based on your objectives, like how well you did with your family and your love interests and your home, and scoring specific unique bonuses in the game that can push you past his 100 points, getting you to basically beat even old money. It might not be likely, but it is definitely possible. This game does have a great theme attached to the feel of the game, being able to basically accomplish life goals based on who you are, what your personality is like, and how you choose to utilize them. The ability to overextend yourself in certain situations in life in order to gain a bonus, even though it might be detrimental to you then and also later. And just because you do overexert yourself doesn't mean you're going to succeed. And in fact, you might overexert yourself to the point where you're basically going to be not only not winning, but losing dramatically and scoring even more negative points. It can happen. There's no way to get rid of these negative energy cards unless you have a specific character that does so, and even still, there's only 2 that you can get rid of. It would be kind of nice if there was a way you could do so by expending a turn or something, but the only thing that you can do is when you draw them, you must play them, and you have to kind of work around them, which makes sense. You know, I'm older now. My back hurts. It hurts more than it did last year, and it hurt more last year than it did the year before that. So that's kind of what this game is saying as far as how its theme functions. The characters are fun, the art is stylish, you feel like you're kind of moving on, living life, and you're also seeing how everybody else is progressing as you progress throughout the game. So as far as theming works, it's great. It's a fun little game. It's a very simple, non-complex style of game. Draw your 4 cards, play your 4 cards, try and beat old money, and then beat the other players. At the end of your life, you check to see how well you did, and if you have the most points, you are the winner. And for a lot of people, they're going to enjoy this game because it's kind of simplistic in that way. There's also a little bit of luck involved. Like, one thing I dislike about the game is when you place your cards out, let's say you went really hard in the paint, and you got 15 points, everybody else got 4, but one other guy got 15, now you guys have to play rock, paper, scissors for first and second. And I kind of wish there was more push or luck involved in that to kind of mitigate. So as opposed to just run to Rochambeau and then whoever wins, wins it. It'd be kind of cool if maybe you could overextend yourself 1 additional time, meaning you lose an extra card from your deck, but it can change whether you take first or second just for that specific period. I'd probably even house rule that into the game, because there are far too many times where we were playing rock, paper, scissors, and just sheer luck would have it, I lost, and it doesn't feel as good losing from here as it does from here because my energy deck is like my life force. And losing when I draw a negative energy card, I feel kind of like it's more my fault. Even though it's still kind of luck, I'm like, well, I put extra negative energies in here. I overextended myself this once and it didn't pay off for me. So that makes sense. It feels more thematic than just rolling. Now, I know that is still technically thematic because sometimes in life, you just are going to get lucky, but I want the luck to be involved with my energy and my output. The other thing about this game too is there are a number of different languages. I believe it's Korean, Japanese, English, and German. I might be wrong about one of those, but it's also associated with all the languages on the card. You'll notice the top has English, and then the left and right have Korean and Japanese, and the bottom has German. So you can play with any of the 4 different languages and with multiple different language speakers, all on the same game board. It doesn't like take away anything from the game, but there is a lot of extra text on basically everything. Doesn't really mind so much as far as the goal cards, because you don't really notice them. So you're just focusing on the number, the symbol, and what the card says about your life goal. But on your player board, it is a little overly wordy. Text is pretty bogged down. All I really need to look at with this thing here is what my character says about that specific sign. Work gives me a sense of security. The fact that I can use Workaholic as an active ability. What Workaholic does, and then my additional scoring. Everything else is just thrown on there as extra content for additional language speakers. So there's a kind of a push and a pull where it's like, it's great that you can now have additional languages to the game and it makes it a lot easier for you to sell in different countries and play with different language speakers. But also on the other hand, the board is, player board specifically, is pretty bogged down with language. The way in which you score is great in this game. I love the idea of accomplishing the goals, gaining the cards based on who played the most energy, and then at the end of the game you score additional points for combinations and connections to all of the different goals. Who has the most of this, and this type of different symbol, as well as combinations of the 3 symbols, the most knowledge, the most pessimism for basically getting last too many times can score you negative points, and even the unique abilities that take place on the cards. Most of the time those abilities are found on lower valued cards or negative valued cards, but they'll let you get rid of symbols from other players or gain symbols from other players for the end of the game, which can make the difference. Quality of the game is excellent. Not only, like I said, I like the art, I think it's fun and cute, and all the characters work with each other and they have their own unique feel to them based on the symbols, on the signs, but it works with the theming as well. Each of the cards are thick, easy to read, draws well. Cards work great with the deck builder. Symbols for each of the characters is fine. How you tell to use your character and what color you are is based on the little token here. This little marker is just a symbol to reference your color, because you might be playing with 2 blue character boards. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the blue pawn. It just might mean that you're both playing as Pisces and Capricorn, and you're the red and they're the blue. And so you keep track of your color based on these little circular discs here, so do not forget that. All right, that's pretty much how you have it. My positives and negatives overall, very, very positive experience. Throw away the Rochambeau aspect and you got a really, really strong game. A simple, light deck builder, but really more it's a, hidden selection game where you place cards down, reveal them, and score, and check to see how well you do in life. The best thing about this game is the story concept that warps into the board. You can kind of tell a story about your life and what all the cards do. And I loved reading out everything in the game as I gained my goals, whether it was establishing a venting enterprise and dispatching a staff to get roasted, or becoming an expert in cuneiform of the Hittite Empire. Or you can discuss politics with your family and end up upsetting everyone. And so these are all kind of little fun goals, quote unquote, that you can gain. Some more positive than others, obviously, but it tells the story of your life as you progress as a specific sign. Yes, My Life Be Like, a fitting title for a fitting game. This is a fun one. I really enjoyed this one, and if you're interested in a game like this, then I strongly suggest it. It's a fun title, right solid in the middle for me. I really like this one, and a lot of my friends did as well. Very simple to play, which got us to play it twice in one night. Thank you guys for watching another Unfiltered Gamer board game review for the game My Life Be Like by Miso Games. If you would like to pick up this game, purchase this game, there will be a link down below in the description for you to go ahead and do so. And if you appreciate our videos and you receive more than one of them, maybe consider giving us a subscription. We do greatly appreciate it, and we know you might not want to watch every single one of our videos because we have such a wide variety of types of games that we play on here, but just hitting that button and checking out videos that you might be interested for the games that we release to show you guys is super appreciated. We've been doing this for a long time, and every single time we get a subscriber, we're excited about it. You can also go ahead and check out our live streams on Sundays at 6:30 p.m. PST and whatnot. Currently, sadly, my streaming PC is down. It is exploded, and so I've been working in the last week to get it fixed. Finances have been semi-tight recently, just due to roof repairs and all that other kind of stuff, so we're hopefully gonna get a new PC in the next week or so, but may or may not do another live stream this weekend, but usually it's on Sundays at 6:30 p.m. PST on all different platforms. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you. And as always, I look forward to my life being like something nice. Just like I'm sure you would like next time.